Liana stood amidst the dense foliage of Kheron, the jungle planet alive with strange, alien sounds. Her gray skin shimmered faintly in the dappled sunlight, blending into the mist that clung to the massive trees. Long, silver hair cascaded down her back, a stark contrast against the vibrant green that surrounded her. Despite the chaos of the untamed world, her golden eyes remained calm, fixed on the man standing before her. Across from her, Dael, a rogue warrior clad in black leather armor, observed her warily. His striking features were hard but handsome, his jaw set in determination, yet there was something in his dark eyes, curiosity, perhaps. The thick vines overhead swayed gently as they faced one another in silence, the tension palpable. "You're not like the others," Dael finally spoke, his voice low, cutting through the ambient noise of the jungle. His hand rested lightly on the hilt of his blade, more out of habit than threat. "No," Liana replied softly, her voice almost musical. "I'm not." She tilted her head, studying him in return. "And neither are you." The wind stirred the leaves around them, carrying with it the distant calls of alien creatures. Kheron was as dangerous as it was beautiful, but for Liana, it was home. For Dael, it was hostile territory. "I've heard stories about your people," Dael said cautiously, his gaze never leaving her face. "About what you can do." Liana's lips curved into a faint smile. "The stories are true, but they are not the whole truth." She stepped closer, her bare feet making no sound on the mossy ground. "The real question is, what brings a soldier from the Dominion to this forbidden planet?" Dael's eyes flickered, a shadow of doubt crossing his face, but he quickly masked it. "I could ask you the same thing. The Dominion has marked this place as a dead zone. No one's supposed to be here." Liana arched an eyebrow. "And yet here you are?" For a moment, neither of them spoke. The tension between them was thick, but it wasn't just suspicion. It was curiosity, a shared sense of being out of place. Despite the differences in their worlds, there was something that connected them, though neither fully understood what it was. "I was sent to track something down," Dael finally admitted, his tone guarded. "Something the Dominion wants, but doesn't fully understand. A source of power, they say. They don't know what it looks like, but they think it's here." Liana's expression darkened slightly, her eyes narrowing. "Power? Is that all your people seek?" Dael's lips pressed into a thin line. "It's what they demand." Liana shook her head, her silver hair shimmering as she moved. "There is more to this world than you can comprehend, Dael. The Dominion doesn't understand the balance here. They only see what they can take." He frowned. "What are you protecting?" "Not what," she corrected, her voice barely a whisper. "Who?" Dael tensed, his instincts sharpening. He had suspected this mission wasn't what it seemed, but now he was sure. "Who are you hiding?" Liana's golden eyes glinted as she stepped even closer, now only inches from him. "Kheron is more than just a jungle planet. It's alive, and there are beings here who are far older, far more powerful than anything your Dominion could imagine. You're chasing shadows, Dael. If you find what you seek, it will destroy you." Dael's heart raced, though he kept his expression stoic. "Then why warn me?" Liana's smile was sad this time. "Because you are not like the others, and because this world has chosen you for something greater than you know." Before Dael could reply, the ground beneath them trembled, the jungle around them shifting as if it were alive. Liana's gaze darted to the shadows between the trees. "They're coming," she whispered. "We need to leave." "Who?" Dael demanded, drawing his blade instinctively, though he knew it would do little good if what she said was true. Liana looked at him, her eyes fierce. "The jungle will not let you leave unless it wants to. Follow me if you wish to live." Without waiting for an answer, she turned and sprinted into the thick undergrowth, her movements graceful and swift. Dael hesitated for only a second before following, his mind racing. He didn't trust her, couldn't trust her, but something told him that whatever dangers lay ahead, he would need her to survive. Liana led Dael through the dense labyrinth of the jungle with ease, her bare feet barely touching the ground as they weaved between towering trees and ancient, crumbling ruins. Dael struggled to keep up, his heavy boots sinking into the mossy earth, but he was determined not to lose her. "What are we running from?" he asked, breathless but determined. "Spirits," Liana replied without turning around, her tone urgent. "The guardians of this world. They sense the disturbance you've caused by coming here." "Disturbance?" Dael growled. "I haven't done anything." "Your presence is enough," she said sharply. "This planet is not like others. It is sentient, and it does not welcome outsiders lightly." As they ran, the jungle seemed to close in around them, the trees shifting, vines creeping across the path as if the planet itself was trying to trap them. Dael could feel a strange energy in the air, an ancient force that hummed just beneath the surface. Liana abruptly stopped at the base of a massive tree, its bark twisted and gnarled with age. "Here," she said, pressing her hand against the trunk. A door, hidden within the bark, slid open with a soft creak, revealing a narrow passage inside. Dael stared at her in disbelief. "What is this?" "A sanctuary," she answered, pulling him inside just as the ground trembled again. "We don't have much time. The spirits will soon realize we're here." Once inside, the door closed behind them, sealing them in darkness for a moment before faint, glowing symbols appeared on the walls, illuminating the space. It was a small chamber, filled with artifacts and strange symbols etched into the walls, evidence of a long-lost civilization. "This place," Dael murmured, looking around in awe. "What is it?" Liana's face was serious as she turned to him. "This is the heart of Kheron, the planet's memory, its secrets." Dael felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you mean?" Liana took a deep breath. "The Dominion seeks power, but what they don't understand is that Kheron itself is that power. It's alive, Dael, and it has a will of its own. It chooses who it will protect and who it will destroy." Dael's mind raced as he processed her words. "And why has it chosen me?" Liana stepped closer to him, her golden eyes meeting his. "Because whether you realize it or not, you're the key to saving this world. And if you don't, the Dominion will tear Kheron apart, along with everything in it." The weight of her words hung in the air between them, and for the first time, Dael felt the gravity of his mission truly sink in. The chamber pulsed with a quiet energy, the glowing symbols on the walls reflecting in Dael's eyes as he tried to comprehend the enormity of what Liana had just revealed. He was no longer just a soldier sent on a mission. He was caught in a struggle that could determine the fate of Kheron itself. "How can I be the key?" Dael asked, his voice steadier than he felt. "What can I do against the Dominion?" Liana stepped back, allowing him a moment to process the weight of their situation. "You must understand the heart of Kheron. The planet's energy flows through its people, through its guardians. You have a connection to it, even if you don't realize it yet. And how do I unlock that connection?" Dael asked, skepticism creeping into his tone. He was a warrior trained for battle, not mysticism. Liana approached a stone pedestal at the center of the chamber, its surface adorned with intricate carvings. "You must listen," she said, placing her palm on the stone. "Feel the pulse of the earth, the heartbeat of the jungle. Only then will you understand." Dael crossed his arms, hesitant but intrigued. He stepped closer, peering at the symbols carved into the pedestal. "And if I can't? What if I fail?" "Failure is not an option," Liana replied firmly. "The spirits will sense your doubt. You must be open to the experience, or the connection will remain dormant." Taking a deep breath, Dael placed his hand on the stone beside hers. The moment he made contact, a surge of energy coursed through him, and he staggered back, his heart racing. Images flooded his mind, lush landscapes, vibrant creatures, and a deep sense of peace intermingled with chaos. He could hear whispers, the voices of the jungle calling out to him, imploring him to listen. Liana watched him closely, her expression a mix of concern and encouragement. "Focus on the heartbeat. Let it guide you." He closed his eyes, concentrating on the sensation. The energy was overwhelming, filling him with warmth and urgency. Suddenly, he felt a shift, an awakening deep within him. It was as if the planet itself was reaching out, connecting with him, recognizing him. As he opened his eyes, the symbols on the pedestal glowed brighter, casting an ethereal light around the chamber. "I can feel it," Dael breathed, astonished. It's alive! Liana smiled, her eyes shining with pride. Now you understand. But you must also prepare yourself. The Dominion will come, and they won't stop until they claim this power for themselves. Then we need a plan, Dael said, feeling the resolve solidify within him. How can we protect Kheron? Liana stepped back from the pedestal, her expression shifting to one of determination. We must awaken the Guardians. They will protect the heart of Kheron from any threat. Guardians? Dael repeated, intrigued. How do we find them? There are 3, she explained, her voice steady. They are the spirits of this land, each bound to a different element. The earth, the water, and the sky. If we can reach them and convince them to join our cause, we may stand a chance against the Dominion. And how do we awaken them? Dael pressed, his warrior instincts igniting. The first is the Earth Guardian, Liana said, her gaze turning serious. We must journey to the Caves of Echoes. There, beneath the roots of the oldest tree on Kheron, lies the heart of the Earth Guardian. We must seek their wisdom and enlist their aid. Then we go, Dael said, determination in his voice. He felt a new purpose blossoming within him. Lead the way. As they exited the sanctuary, the jungle enveloped them once again, the vibrant greens and flickering shadows creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Liana moved with grace, her silver hair trailing behind her like a comet, while Dael followed closely, his senses heightened and ready for whatever lay ahead. The path to the Caves of Echoes was treacherous, filled with twisting vines and uneven terrain. Strange creatures peeked from behind trees, their eyes glimmering with curiosity and caution. Dael could feel the jungle's energy swirling around them, pulsing in rhythm with his own heart. What should I expect from the Earth Guardian? Dael asked as they navigated through the thick underbrush. The Earth Guardian is powerful and wise, Liana replied. They embody the strength of Kheron, but they are also fiercely protective. If they sense our intentions are not pure, they may turn against us. Then we must be honest, Dael said, conviction lining his voice. We're not here to conquer. We're here to protect. Exactly, Liana said, her expression softening. Your heart must resonate with theirs. As they approached the mouth of the cave, the air grew cooler, and the sounds of the jungle faded into an eerie silence. The entrance was adorned with intricate carvings, similar to those in the sanctuary, depicting ancient battles and the harmony of nature. Liana stepped forward, her voice a reverent whisper. This is it, the Caves of Echoes. Together, they entered the darkness, the walls illuminated by bioluminescent fungi that painted the cave in ethereal blues and greens. The echoes of their footsteps reverberated through the cavern, a rhythmic reminder of the power contained within these ancient halls. How do we find the Guardian? Dael asked, his heart pounding in anticipation. We must call to them, Liana replied, her voice steady despite the cavernous depths. We will summon the Earth Guardian with a song of respect and sincerity. Dael frowned, uncertainty creeping in. A song? I'm not much of a singer. Liana chuckled softly, the sound reverberating off the walls. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Just speak from your heart. As they ventured deeper, the cave opened into a vast chamber. Stalactites hung like ancient fangs from the ceiling, and in the center lay a massive, shimmering stone, pulsating with a rhythmic glow. Liana approached it reverently, her eyes filled with wonder. This is the Heartstone, she said, her voice hushed. The conduit to the Earth Guardian. We must connect with it. Dael nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. He stepped beside Liana, and together they placed their hands on the Heartstone. The moment their palms made contact, a surge of energy flooded through them, and the cave trembled. Great Earth Guardian, we call upon you. Liana's voice rose, echoing through the chamber. We seek your wisdom and strength to protect Kheron from those who would exploit its gifts. The ground shook violently, and a deep rumbling sound filled the air. The Heartstone glowed brighter, illuminating the chamber in blinding light. A figure began to emerge from the stone, a majestic being formed of earth and roots, their body entwined with vines and flowers. Eyes like molten gold bore into Dael's, radiating an ancient wisdom and power. "Who dares to awaken me?" The guardian's voice resonated, echoing through the cave like thunder. Dael swallowed hard, his heart racing. "I am Dael of the Dominion, but I am not here to conquer. I seek to protect Kheron from my own people. This planet is alive, and I want to help." Liana stepped forward, her voice steady. "We seek your guidance, Great Guardian. The Dominion threatens to destroy the balance of Kheron. We must unite to preserve this world." The Earth Guardian regarded them for a long moment, their eyes narrowing as they assessed Dael's sincerity. "Your heart beats strong, warrior. But can you prove your worth? The balance of Kheron is fragile. You must show me that your intentions are pure." Dael's resolve hardened. "What must I do?" "Face the trial of the elements," the Guardian commanded, their voice echoing in Dael's soul. "Only then will I know if you are worthy of my power." Before Dael could respond, the ground beneath him shifted, opening into a chasm. Liana grasped his arm, eyes wide with fear. "Dael, what's happening?" The Guardian raised their hand, and Dael felt himself being pulled toward the edge of the chasm. "Face your fears, Dael of the Dominion. Only through trial can you earn the trust of Kheron." With a final push, Dael was swallowed by the darkness, plunging into the depths below. Dael plummeted into darkness, the air rushing past him as he braced for impact. Just as the ground seemed to rise up to meet him, a sudden rush of wind enveloped him, slowing his descent until he landed softly on a mossy floor. Dazed, he pushed himself up, taking in his surroundings. He stood in a vast underground chamber, illuminated by glowing crystals embedded in the walls. The atmosphere felt charged with energy, and he could sense the elemental forces swirling around him. Earth, water, fire, and air, all vying for his attention. In the center of the chamber was a circular stone platform etched with symbols that mirrored those from the Heartstone. 4 pillars rose from the corners of the platform, each representing one of the elements. Dael felt an instinctual pull toward the pillars, as if they were calling to him. "Welcome, Dael of the Dominion." A voice boomed, echoing off the cavern walls. The sound reverberated through his very bones. "You have entered the trial of the elements. To prove your worth, you must face each element and demonstrate your understanding of balance and respect for Kheron." Dael squared his shoulders, determination filling him. "I accept the trial." "Very well," the voice intoned, and the first pillar, adorned with intricate carvings of roots and vines, began to glow a deep green. "Face the earth." The ground trembled as a massive figure emerged from the pillar, an enormous golem made of soil, stones, and twisted roots. Its eyes glowed with an emerald light, and it regarded Dael with an intensity that made his heart race. "Prove your strength and will." The Earth Guardian's voice rumbled through the golem. "Show me your respect for the earth that sustains you." Dael took a deep breath, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath him. He knew he could fight the golem, but strength alone would not be enough. Instead, he focused on the lessons Liana had taught him. "I do not wish to fight you," he said, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. "I wish to understand." The golem hesitated, its massive form shifting slightly. "Understanding is the first step, warrior. But how will you prove it?" Dael closed his eyes, grounding himself. "The earth is our foundation," he said, recalling the stories of his childhood. "It provides us with sustenance, shelter, and strength. We must protect it, not exploit it." As he spoke, the ground beneath the golem softened, and vibrant flowers began to bloom around its feet. Dael felt the energy of Kheron rising within him, connecting him to the land. The golem watched intently, its emerald eyes softening. "Very well," the golem replied, its voice resonating with approval. "You have shown respect for the earth. You may pass." With a rumble, the golem receded into the earth, leaving the first pillar glowing softly. Dael exhaled in relief, stepping forward to the next pillar, which crackled with electricity and radiated a fiery orange light. "Now face the fire," the booming voice commanded, and flames erupted from the pillar, coalescing into a phoenix made of pure fire. Its wings flared with a heat that sent warmth flooding over Dael. "Prove your courage," the phoenix challenged, its voice fierce and crackling like flames. "Show me that you can harness the fire's passion without succumbing to its rage." Dael felt the heat wash over him, but he stood firm. He recalled the importance of balance in all things. "Fire can create and destroy," he began, his voice steady. "It warms our homes and cooks our food, but it can also burn everything to ash if left unchecked." The phoenix circled him, its flames dancing dangerously close. "What will you do when faced with such destructive power?" "I will wield it wisely," Dael answered, determination surging within him. "I will use its heat to forge new paths, not to destroy. Fire must serve a purpose." With that, Dael focused on the phoenix, channeling the heat around him into a controlled flame that danced along his fingertips. He held it aloft, allowing it to glow without losing control. The phoenix paused, its fiery form flickering with intrigue. "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it," the phoenix declared, its fiery wings stretching wide. "You have proven your understanding. You may pass." As the phoenix vanished in a burst of flames, the second pillar glowed brightly, and Dael moved on to the third, which shimmered with deep blue hues. "Face the water," the voice instructed, and the air shimmered as a torrent of water coalesced into a majestic serpent, its scales reflecting the light of the crystals around them. The serpent regarded Dael with wise eyes. "Prove your adaptability," it said, its voice flowing like a gentle stream. "Show me that you can bend without breaking." Dael felt a rush of emotion. Water, he thought, was essential for life, but it could also carve mountains over time. "Water is fluid," he replied, his voice calm. "It shapes the world around it, but it also nurtures and sustains life. To adapt is to survive." The serpent coiled around him, its presence both calming and daunting. "Then how will you face challenges that threaten your spirit?" Dael took a deep breath, recalling his own struggles against the rigid expectations of the Dominion. "I will learn to flow with the currents of change. I will not resist, but will navigate through adversity." In response, the serpent swirled around him, and he felt a rush of water envelop him, calming his mind. "You have shown wisdom, young warrior. You may pass." As the serpent dissolved back into the pillar, Dael felt a swell of triumph. Only one trial remained. He approached the final pillar, which shimmered with a brilliant white light and pulsated like the sky itself. "Now face the air," the voice boomed, and from the pillar emerged a majestic bird, its feathers glinting like sunlight. It soared above Dael, wings stretching wide, filling the chamber with a gust of wind. "Prove your vision," the bird called, its voice echoing like a breeze. "Show me that you can rise above the chaos and see the bigger picture." Dael squared his shoulders, feeling the wind whip around him. "Air is freedom," he stated, recalling the expansive skies above Kheron. "It carries our hopes and dreams, allowing us to rise above the troubles of the earth." "Then how will you inspire others to rise with you?" the bird challenged, its wings folding gracefully around him. Dael thought of Liana and the bond they had forged amidst the chaos. "By sharing my vision," he replied, his voice strong. "By helping others see the beauty in unity and guiding them toward a common purpose. We must work together to protect what we hold dear." The bird hovered above him, its gaze piercing into his soul. "You have the heart of a leader. You may pass." With a powerful flap of its wings, the bird ascended, disappearing into the light of the final pillar, which erupted in a dazzling display of colors. As the four pillars shone brightly, Dael felt the energy of Kheron surging within him. The voice returned, deep and resonant. "You have faced the elements and proven your worth, Dael of the Dominion. You are now a guardian of Kheron." Suddenly, the ground shook once more, and Dael was lifted off his feet. Light engulfed him, swirling around him as the elements coalesced into one. He felt a bond forming, a connection to the earth, the fire, the water, and the air. Power coursed through him, and he understood what it meant to be a protector. With a blinding flash, he was propelled back into the chamber where Liana awaited, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Dael," she exclaimed, rushing to him. "You did it." "I did," he replied, breathless but exhilarated. "I'm ready to protect Kheron." But before they could celebrate, a low rumble echoed through the cave, shaking the very foundation beneath them. "The Dominion is near," Liana said, her expression turning grave. "We must hurry. The Guardians will help us, but we need to unite before they arrive." "Then let's go," Dael said, his heart pounding. He felt the power of the elements within him, and with Liana by his side, he was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Dael and Liana raced through the winding paths of the jungle, the vibrant foliage whipping past them as they navigated the underbrush. The energy of Kheron surged through Dael, empowering his every step, but the urgency of the situation weighed heavily on him. "We must reach the gathering place before the Dominion finds us," Liana urged, her silver hair flowing behind her like a comet's tail. "The Guardians will sense the danger, but they need our leadership." Dael nodded, adrenaline coursing through his veins. The trials had awakened something within him, an understanding of the interconnectedness of the elements and the importance of unity. They needed to rally the Guardians to stand against the Dominion's encroachment. As they reached a clearing, the trees parted to reveal a massive tree unlike any other, its trunk twisted and gnarled, with roots sprawling across the ground like the veins of the planet itself. The tree pulsed with a warm, inviting glow, resonating with the energy of Kheron. "This is the Elder Tree," Liana said, awe in her voice. "The heart of the jungle and the gathering place for the Guardians. We must awaken them here." Dael felt a deep connection to the tree, the memories of the trials still fresh in his mind. "How do we summon them?" Liana approached the base of the elder tree, placing her palm against its bark. "We must call out to them, invoking the bonds we've formed. The Guardians will hear us." Taking a deep breath, Dael joined her, placing his hand beside hers. "Guardians of Kheron, we call upon you," he shouted, his voice steady and strong. "We need your strength to protect this world from the Dominion." As their voices echoed through the clearing, the ground trembled, and the leaves rustled violently in response. A soft, melodic hum filled the air, vibrating through Dael's bones as he felt the energy of the elder tree amplify their call. Slowly, the roots of the elder tree began to shift, rising up from the ground to form a circle around them. The air thickened with anticipation as light seeped through the foliage, illuminating the area with a mystical glow. "Can you feel it?" Dael asked, his excitement palpable. "They're coming." With a sudden burst of energy, the Guardians emerged from the roots, each embodying the essence of the elements they represented. The Earth Guardian, a towering figure made of stone and vines, stepped forward, followed by the Phoenix, a blazing silhouette of flames, the Water Serpent, shimmering with waves of blue, and the majestic Air Bird, gliding gracefully above. "Why have you summoned us?" the Earth Guardian's voice rumbled, its eyes gleaming with authority. "The balance of Kheron is threatened, and we have felt the disturbance." Dael stepped forward, meeting the Guardian's gaze with unwavering resolve. "The Dominion seeks to exploit Kheron's resources. They aim to harness its energy for their own gain, and we cannot let that happen. We need your strength to protect this world." "Your trial has shown you worthy," the Earth Guardian replied, its voice deepening. "But do you understand the full extent of what you ask? The Dominion is powerful, and they will not hesitate to crush those who oppose them." Liana spoke up, her voice steady. "Together, we can stand against them. The elements must unite as one to protect Kheron. With your help, we can create a force strong enough to defend our home." The Phoenix nodded, its flames flickering with determination. "Passion and purpose drive the fire within us. If we unite, we can ignite the hearts of the people of Kheron and inspire them to rise against the Dominion." The Water Serpent coiled gracefully, its voice flowing like a gentle stream. "The tides are shifting. If we act swiftly, we can gather the tribes of Kheron to join our cause. They will stand against the Dominion, but they need a leader to guide them." The Air Bird flapped its wings, sending a gust of wind through the clearing. and I will carry our message to the farthest reaches of the jungle, ensuring that all are aware of the impending danger. Then it is settled, Dael declared, a sense of purpose igniting within him. We will gather the tribes, unite the people, and prepare for the Dominion's arrival. We are not alone in this fight. The Guardians exchanged glances, a spark of agreement passing between them. The Earth Guardian stepped closer, towering over Dael and Liana. Lead us, young warrior, and we will follow. Suddenly, a distant roar pierced the air, cutting through the tension like a knife. Dael's heart sank as he turned toward the sound. They're here. The Guardians tensed, the air around them thick with anticipation. Liana's eyes narrowed, determination etched on her face. We must act quickly. They will not give us a moment to prepare. Dael nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. Guardians, lend me your strength. Let us show the Dominion the true power of Kheron. With a unified roar, the Guardians responded, their elemental forms shimmering with energy. As they prepared to confront the encroaching threat, Dael felt a rush of confidence coursing through him. Let's go, he shouted, rallying the Guardians and Liana as they set out to face the Dominion head-on. The jungle trembled as Dael, Liana, and the Guardians moved swiftly through the foliage, the vibrant greens of Kheron transforming into a darker, more menacing hue. The air was thick with tension, and Dael could feel the encroaching presence of the Dominion creeping closer. As they approached a clearing, the sight before them sent chills down Dael's spine. The Dominion's forces, clad in black armor, were felling trees and tearing apart the earth in their quest for Kheron's resources. Machinery clanked and whirred ominously, and the air crackled with the remnants of their destructive energy. We need to stop them, Liana whispered, her voice barely audible over the chaos. Dael clenched his fists, his heart racing. We will, but we need to strategize. We can't charge in blindly. The Earth Guardian stepped forward, its massive frame casting a shadow over Dael. We must protect the heart of Kheron. If we can drive them back from this area, we can gain the upper hand. Then we'll divide their forces, Dael suggested. The Airbird can scout and identify their leaders. Liana and I can rally the local tribes to come to our aid. The Phoenix flapped its wings, sending a wave of heat through the air. And I will create a diversion, drawing their attention away from you. When the moment is right, we'll strike. Dael nodded, feeling a sense of unity among them. Let's do it. We can't let them destroy Kheron. With a series of swift movements, they fell into position. The Airbird soared high above the trees, its keen eyes scanning the battlefield for signs of the Dominion's leadership. Meanwhile, Dael and Liana slipped through the underbrush, moving silently toward the nearest tribe. As they neared a small village, Dael spotted a group of warriors training, their bodies lithe and agile, each movement synchronized with the rhythm of the jungle. He called out, his voice firm yet urgent. We need your help. The Dominion is invading. The warriors turned, their expressions shifting from curiosity to alarm. Among them stood a tall, powerful woman with braided hair and fierce eyes, the leader of the tribe. What do you mean? She asked, her tone sharp. What is this threat you speak of? The Dominion has come to Kheron, seeking to exploit its resources. They are destroying our land, Liana explained, stepping forward to emphasize the urgency of their mission. The tribal leader crossed her arms, her gaze piercing. And why should we trust you? You are of the Dominion. How do we know you are not leading us to our doom? Dael stepped forward, determination shining in his eyes. I was once part of the Dominion, but I have seen the truth. They threatened the very essence of Kheron. I stand with you now, as a protector, not a conqueror. Join us, and together we can defend our home. The tribe murmured among themselves, their uncertainty palpable. The leader studied Dael for a moment, then nodded slowly. Very well. If what you say is true, we will help you. But know this. If you betray us, the jungle will not forgive you. Liana smiled, relief washing over her. Thank you. We will need every warrior we can find. With the tribe's support, Dael felt emboldened. Gather your warriors. We'll need a strong force to face the Dominion. As the tribal leader called for her people, Dael and Liana moved swiftly back toward the clearing, where the Guardians awaited. The air bird descended, landing gracefully beside them, its feathers ruffled from the wind. "I've spotted their leaders," the air bird reported, its voice calm yet urgent. "There are 3 of them, overseeing the destruction. If we can take them down, we may disrupt their entire operation." Dael nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. "Then that's our target. We'll divide into 2 groups. The Guardians and I will engage the leaders, while Liana and the tribe attack their main camp. We'll create chaos and confusion, and then regroup." The Guardians exchanged glances, their resolve clear. "We are with you, Dael," the Earth Guardian said. "Together, we will protect Kheron." As they prepared for battle, Dael's heart raced with anticipation. This was it, the moment they would stand united against the Dominion. With the Guardians at his side and the tribes rallying for their cause, he felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. "Let's move," Dael commanded, his voice steady. "For Kheron." With battle cries echoing through the jungle, Dael led the charge toward the Dominion's camp. The vibrant colors of the foliage contrasted sharply with the dark, metallic structures that marred the landscape. The air was thick with tension, and the rhythmic pounding of war drums reverberated in the distance. As they approached, Dael could see the Dominion soldiers milling about, their faces set with grim determination. The 3 leaders, clad in polished armor, their insignias gleaming, stood atop a raised platform, surveying the destruction below. "Now!" Dael shouted, signaling the Guardians and the tribal warriors to attack. The forest erupted with the sounds of battle as arrows flew and elemental powers clashed against the machinery of the Dominion. The Earth Guardian slammed its fists into the ground, causing a tremor that knocked several soldiers off their feet. The Phoenix swooped down, unleashing a wave of flames that engulfed a group of Dominion soldiers, sending them scattering in panic. "Focus on the leaders," Dael yelled, dodging the debris as he sprinted forward. Liana was at his side, her determination igniting his spirit. They charged toward the platform, where the leaders stood, rallying their troops. One of the leaders, a tall man with a fierce gaze and a cruel smile, raised his sword. "They think they can stop us? Crush them," he commanded, and the soldiers surged forward, their eyes filled with hatred. Dael felt the adrenaline surge within him as he met the soldiers head-on. He dodged and weaved, using his newfound agility to evade their strikes while channeling the power of the elements through him. He summoned tendrils of wind to push back the attackers, creating a barrier between him and the oncoming foes. Beside him, Liana unleashed her own magic, her voice rising in a melodic chant that called upon the life force of the jungle. Vines erupted from the ground, ensnaring the soldiers and pulling them down into the earth. "We can do this," she shouted, her spirit unwavering. As they fought, Dael glanced up at the leaders, who watched from the platform, their expressions darkening as they realized their forces were being overwhelmed. The tall leader drew his weapon, pointing it toward Dael. "I'll deal with this one myself," he sneered. With a fierce leap, the leader descended from the platform, charging at Dael with a speed that took him by surprise. Dael braced himself, channeling the elemental energy within him to prepare for the attack. The two collided, the impact sending shockwaves through the ground. Dael felt the leader's strength, a raw power fueled by ambition and greed. He fought back, weaving through the strikes and countering with his own elemental magic. "Your power is nothing compared to the might of the Dominion," the leader taunted, his blade clashing against Dael's defense. "Your greed blinds you," Dael retorted, summoning a gust of wind that knocked the leader off balance. "Kheron is not yours to take." In that moment, the Phoenix swooped down, catching the leader off guard with a blast of flames. The leader stumbled back, momentarily dazed. "Focus on the battle," he barked at the remaining Dominion soldiers, rallying them. "Now!" Dael shouted to Liana and the Guardians. "We have to finish this." With renewed vigor, Dael focused on the energy around him, summoning the power of the elements in unison. The ground beneath him trembled, and the air crackled with electricity. He channeled the earth's strength into a powerful strike, sending a wave of energy toward the leader. The force collided with the Dominion leader, throwing him back into the chaos of the battle. "No!" he roared, scrambling to regain his footing. Liana and the Guardians pressed their advantage, working as one to overwhelm the remaining soldiers. The water serpent struck with powerful jets of water, dousing the flames of their machines, while the air bird created whirlwinds that swept through the camp, sending debris flying. With the Dominion soldiers distracted, Dael turned to Liana. "We need to flank the leaders while they're vulnerable." "Agreed," Liana said, her determination shining in her eyes. Together, they moved toward the platform, where the two remaining leaders were attempting to regroup. As they approached, the leaders exchanged frantic glances, realizing they were losing control of their forces. "We can't let them win," the second leader shouted, raising his weapon defiantly. "We will crush them," the first leader echoed, his voice filled with desperation. "No, you will fall," Dael declared, feeling the power of Kheron coursing through him. "This ends now." With a surge of energy, he unleashed a blast of elemental magic, channeling the combined forces of the earth, fire, water, and air. The resulting explosion of energy engulfed the leaders, sending them sprawling to the ground. As the dust settled, Dael stepped forward, his heart pounding. The leaders struggled to rise, their expressions shifting from anger to fear. "You think you've won?" the first leader sneered, trying to regain his composure. "The Dominion is everywhere." "The Dominion will fall," Dael replied, resolute. "Kheron will not bow to your tyranny." As the battle raged around them, Dael felt the presence of the Guardians and the tribe rallying behind him. The tide had turned. They had fought bravely, and the Dominion's grip on Kheron was loosening. In that moment, Liana joined him, her eyes fierce and bright. "Together, we can banish them from our home." "For Kheron," Dael raised his hands, summoning the energy of the elder tree, channeling it into a focused beam of light. The Guardians followed suit, their powers combining into a magnificent display of elemental might. "Now!" Dael shouted, as they unleashed their combined forces toward the Dominion leaders. The light exploded around them, engulfing the leaders in a whirlwind of energy. With a final, defiant roar, the leaders were swept away, their figures disappearing into the blinding light. As the battlefield fell silent, Dael and Liana stood together, panting but triumphant. The Dominion forces, seeing their leaders defeated, began to retreat, their morale shattered. The jungle echoed with the cheers of the tribal warriors and the Guardians, their victory resonating through the trees. "We did it," Liana breathed, her eyes sparkling with joy. "Yes, we did," Dael replied, a wave of relief washing over him. "But we must remain vigilant. The Dominion may return, but now we know we can stand together." As the sun began to set over Kheron, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Dael felt a sense of hope blooming within him. They had faced the darkness together, and now they would build a future for Kheron, a future forged in unity and strength.